Okay, looking all good. Yes, happy with that. Try to hold your balance there. Yeah, it's going to take a little getting used to. Even walking or even just holding yourself still will be a task at first. And you don't want to go too quickly. Don't run before you can crawl. Try to stand perfectly still, please. Very good. Yeah. Yeah, maybe 2-3 weeks, I would say, until you're in a position where you feel have even half the agility, perhaps, of a true Navi. If you could just try to use your left leg. And now it's your right arm. Good stuff. Yeah, not only are you adjusting to the body, you're adjusting to the ambient environment as well. The mixture of air is similar to that on Earth, but there is a much higher carbon dioxide content, which is why we can't go outside without our masks, or why you were wearing a mask previously. Yes. But that also comes with a viscosity. There's a thickness to the air. I think it's about 20-25% thicker. I think it takes about 20-30 seconds until you lose consciousness under that, and about 4 minutes until you would die. Strange feeling, isn't it? You can almost, when you run on Earth, you don't feel the air hit you as much. It does mean that you have to work harder. And you'll notice the musculature is adapted in a way to be able to be more streamlined and work harder. Could you lift your left and right arm up? Okay. Try to hold still. Okay. Okay, good. Now if you can just, and I fully expect you to fall down into a mess on the ground, but if you could just try to jump up a little. Very good. Most people do not keep on their feet the first time they do that. Did you feel the difference in the weight? Yeah. Right, we're just going to go through a few little exercises, okay? If you could pick up that ball there. And again, let's not run before we can crawl. I just want you to throw it across to each hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Very good. Okay, let's do that again, but can we do it throwing it up into the air? Okay, we'll do it 10 times. Okay, 1, 2, 3. That's okay, we can try that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A little bit lower now. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. Now I'd like you to close your eyes. Not yet. I want to show you what I want you to do first. Okay? You're going to close your eyes, and then stretch out, and then up with the eyes closed. and then back down, and then up again. Okay? Right. Out, and then out, then up, then back down again. Down. Okay, let's do that again. This time you can have your eyes open. Very good. I must admit, you are a lot more agile on the first time than most people are. Yes, I think you're adapting very nicely to the avatar itself. Very quick. We're going to do similar exercises like this. Now, I did say it would take about 3 weeks. At the pace you're going, maybe a lot quicker, which is good because, of course, we are behind on schedule. But right, I'm going to disconnect you now. I'm going to send you across to the virtual reality simulation. I'm going to go through some of the actual feeling of being inside the forest itself. It's not really anything that you can truly prepare yourself for, but we do try, at least to take the edge of it. No, very good. Well, I'm going to see you inside. See you soon. Great job.
Hey there, how are you? Yeah, I heard you're doing really, really well. Yeah, look here. Okay, and here? Very good. Okay, so I am going to connect you to the sort of virtual reality system that we have here, and I'm just going to need you to stay still. Okay, I'm just going to do this here, and okay, don't move, just stay still. That's very good. And we are going to do a little simulation. Since you're not completely prepared to go outside yet, we don't want anything to happen with you. So we're just going to bring the forest to you. Yes. So the way this thing works is that it transmits signals directly to your mind, and that will allow us to make you hear, feel, see the forest as if you were actually there. Isn't that wonderful? Without the actual risk of something unpleasant happening to you. Okay, seems to be working good. Very good. Are you ready for this? Okay. I'm gonna let our colleague start, so pay attention.
Okay, so here we are in the Ometakaya forest. The simulation is quite realistic, but it's not like the real thing. I've never personally been outside in the real thing, but I do know from experience of working with others that it isn't Exactly. Well, nothing's going to prepare you for the awe of that. I mean, the whole bioluminescence that you can see around you right now, which actually in many ways explains the blue skin of the Navi, an attempt to camouflage themselves in this environment. Well, it's very vivid. And you can see just by the sheer scale of the forests and the plants and all the flora that the lower gravity is really having an effect on the whole biology of the planet. I'll just be observing you throughout, by the way. So you just look. You sort of try to center yourself. Try to take into your surroundings. And I will be observing you throughout, just to make sure everything's working good. I'm just going to prepare a few things, actually, because I want to take you through some of the things you might be able to use in your environment. And until then, my colleague here is going to take you through a few of the elements of the planet. I'll be back soon. I'm just going to prep.
Okay, so I also have a few things I can share with you. As he just said, like, the gravity on Pandora is sort of different, and that affects the trees, the vegetation, everything. And it also affects the animals. Yes. So you're going to find out that some of the creatures in Pandora can be scarily, very scarily big. Yes. But not all of them, are predators or are usually aggressive. However, in the forest and in some other areas, you need to be really, really careful with the viper wolves. Yes, you don't want to run into one of those. Now, many creatures you can connect with, and you can form a sort of bond. They will let you ride them and fly. It's sort of like the connection you make with a horse, but it's actually more complex, right? Because it's sort of a neuro connection that the whole planet shares. And, well, if the unfortunate occasion comes to happen and you find yourself defenseless in a forest in the middle of the night, you are going to need to, well, first of all, if you don't have anything to fight with, you probably want to search for the closest branch that might have fallen from a tree. If it has a pointy thing in the top, that's great. If not, you might want to try and use your knife to sharpen a sort of spear. If you don't have your knife with you, you're not going to be able to just cut the branch. So what I would suggest is probably ripping off a bit of your clothes. Yes. Just wrapping it in the top of the stick and, well, putting it on fire. Because fire is a threat for all creatures. They recognize it instantly as dangerous, and that might save your life. You might not make them go away instantly, but it will, well, make you a bit more in a advantage point where they might not come as close to you. They might be much more careful to attack, and you might just get away with it running. So, how do you fire it up? Well, if you don't have a lighter with you, anything to put it on fire, any matches or anything, what you can do is, let me just run the simulation here. Is grab one of these little flying creatures, which you're going to find everywhere, especially in the night, during any walks you might have in the forest of Pandora. And they are very resemblant. They remind me, a lot of fireflies. And they are sort of very similar, to be honest, they are. But what they do differently is to create actual flames as a defense mechanism. Yeah, so as soon as you grab it, you want to be very quick to tap it on the torch, yes, because they are going to start to defend themselves very quickly. You don't want your hand to get burnt, but you want the torch to light up, so you hit it with the insect, and then you just, well, try not to burn yourself. Yeah, with the torch that you just made. So that's my little survival tip for you. Fire helps, yes. As a last resource, I usually would not instigate anyone to attack the creatures of the planet. But you must be aware of the dangerous ones and how to survive them. So, yeah. It's a valid lesson. Sorry, I'm just enjoying the sounds. The fire crackling. It's always a very relaxing sound for me. Isn't it for you? Well, when it's like this, controlled, of course, if it was a fire in the forest, then it wouldn't be so relaxing. You probably should be running for your life. And the forest does get some fires started every now and then. You know, the RDA, I do not approve of their methods very much. And they are often finding themselves in conflicts with the natural inhabitants of this planet, including the Navi. Even though the Omaticaya clan is sort of very diplomatic with us, well, they are, I think they are beginning to realize that they can't trust us so much anymore. And that's a shame. It's quite sad, but it's just the way things are, unfortunately. Yeah. Oh yes, oh sure, okay. enough talking. Yeah, you take it over.
How was that? Very good. I prepared some things for us. There are natural resources that you'll be able to avail yourself when you actually come into the real forest. One of the things you're going to have to learn, of course, is the fact that trees, plants, pretty much everything has built this electrochemical connection between the roots and all of the living things, which effectively we call it like a moon-wide brain, I think would be the best way to explain it. But we'll cover that later. And what I want to show you, first of all, is the use of your senses and the use of, as I say, some of the chemicals and things that can be around. I was going to show you this, but actually, let's go in with the senses first. You'll notice that your senses are much stronger, much more precise. inside the Avatar. You want to find water? Listen for a stream. You can locate things from hundreds and hundreds of feet away. Not quite a mile, but you might even be able to smell not the water, but the way that the water interacts with the air. Now quieten your mind for a moment and just listen to the forest. Listen to, in particular, the sound of the birds. It's a beautiful sound, isn't it? Close your eyes. Now notice the sound of the birds quietening down. This can be a warning. Birds are very perceptive of their environment. They have very keen senses. They'll have keener senses than yourself. Several predators will have keener senses than yourself. And when birds go quiet, sometimes it means that they've spotted a danger that they want to avoid. Sometimes the opposite, they can go very loud, screeching to warn others. So if you see or feel a difference in the sound of your environment, then watch out. Use not only your own senses, but the senses of the forest. Just listen again for a moment. Now while you listen, a very unusual biological thing about the Navi is they can control, they call it the vagus nerve. They can calm themselves a little. They can control their heartbeat. It comes naturally. Concentrate on the sound of your own heartbeat. Try slowing it a little. The best Navi can slow their heart rate down to the point where they can stay underwater for 3-4 times longer than you. Smell that. Now these are mosses that grow typically under the trees. Very soft. Feel it. Take that piece. Got more here. Now you can chew on this. And it provides a very small amount of nutritional benefit. But they use it as a calming method. So it can be chewed on and just has this calming-like property. Helps with your heartbeat slowing if ever needed. But it also keeps the mouth hydrated as well. But it can also be applied to wounds. So let's just say you have cut your arm. Hold your arm out here. Now obviously it's not cut, but I'm going to place it on there. Notice, as soon as I place it on there, it sort of connects to the moisture of your skin. It's not stuck on, but it's pressed on without having to hold on to it. Now that, if you're bleeding, will absorb the blood and it will make a very quick seal. Another thing we have here of these plants. I prepared some of them for you. See these brittle leaves, very brittle. They grow near the moss, typically. They're almost symbiotic in nature. They're not the same plant. It smells like... You tell me what you think it smells like. It's hard, isn't it? Mint, licorice. They don't have the same level of... the same types of smells. Try to identify that smell. I'm going to give you some of that so you can play around with it. And also, there are some of the smaller trees. Have little dry bushes next to them. Look like this. Both of these things can be mixed together and form a healing potion of sorts. It will interact internally and create, for want of a better word, stem cells that will repair any damaged tissue. You can chew them as well. Try this. What does that smell like to you? A little, yeah. But also, instead of chewing them, they can be ground up. I think this in itself is a little bit of an interesting learning lesson. The sound. When you're in the wild, remember that the predators have a much stronger sense of hearing and smell than yourself. If you step on dry leaves or thick mud, then you find yourself in a situation where you're going to be heard. So try to watch exactly where you put your feet. It will increase your lifespan. What we're going to do is we're going to take a few of these herbs and then we're going to grind them together. I would say 1 stem's worth. For perhaps about this much leaves. And we can grind these for 30 seconds will do. It's quite a nice sound. Very nice smell. A little more. There we go. Much more broken up. And what we can do with that is we can mix it with water. And once mixed with water, it can be ingested to heal one from the inside out. But we can also, getting at this here, mix this with the moss and a little bit of water. And this makes the moss application. Get rid of this sharp little piece of twig. This makes the moss application more effective. I think if you're injured, you should probably ingest some with water, but also put some on the skin. Now I'm going to place some now on your face. The mud, well, I already had it, but the mud you would get from riverbanks. Possibly, if you dig under the roots of certain trees very carefully. Remember, everything is interconnected. Just as long as it's wet, it should be fine. So you spread it like this nice and evenly. When you want it to come off, it just give it 10 minutes. And it just flakes off if you rub your skin. Nice and even. You should feel it tingling slightly. Do you feel that? A little bit underneath. Very good. Why don't you try it now? Just grab a little bit on the arm. That's it, very good. Very even. Very good. And I think that's a pretty good introduction for your first time out here. Really, learning too much is counterproductive because, well, really your senses should be overwhelmed. Take it all in. Center yourself. Enjoy the experience. You're going to think you're going to be sent into nothing but stressful situations, but no. It's going to be a remarkable experience. Enjoy it for what it is. All we're doing right now is teaching you how to be safe. But trust me, it will be like no experience you've ever had before. It will become second nature, like swimming, or riding a bike, jumping through the forests. It will give you this enormous sense of freedom. And when you try the interconnectivity, you'll also find that's a remarkable experience. So let's just end now with centering ourselves in the simulation. Here. Take these, put them under your nose, and then center yourself. With your eyes open or your eyes closed, just don't focus on anything in particular. Just breathe in and breathe out. And be at one. Be at peace with the world.